Y'all, it looks like Donald J. Trump just turned up the heat on Diddy and this time. He's not leaving any room for a soft landing. In the latest bombshell twist to Diddy's already spiraling legal saga, Trump is reportedly pushing for the court to hit him with the harshest penalty possible. We're talking a sentence that could keep Diddy behind bars for the rest of his life. But insiders say this isn't just about throwing Diddy in a cell, it's about making a statement. According to sources, something went down in private between Trump and Diddy that lit the fuse on this very public push. And now, whatever was said behind those closed doors is spilling into the courtroom in a major way. Here's where it gets even wilder. Judge A just dropped a ruling that allegedly blindsided Diddy's entire legal team, sparking a full-blown panic in his camp. The stakes just shot through the roof, and word is their next move is going to be nothing short of desperate. Buckle up, because this fight just went from messy to downright explosive. And when Trump decided to air this out, he didn't hold back. After nearly 2 years of lawsuits, bombshell accusations, and endless tabloid fodder, he's now allegedly making one thing crystal clear: he is not writing in to save Diddy. Forget the whispers about some last-minute presidential pardon. Reportedly slammed that door shut and then padlocked it for good measure. Not only did he dismiss the idea, he made sure everyone knew whatever friendship they once flaunted is officially over. And the reason? Well, it's messier than just politics. According to sources, what really tipped Trump over the edge was finding out Diddy didn't lift a finger for him during last year's election. Worse, he allegedly badmouthed Trump behind closed doors. For a man who measures loyalty like gold, that was the ultimate betrayal. Insiders say that's the exact moment Trump's goodwill evaporated, and the gloves came off. Now, with the alleged grudge fueling him, his push for Diddy to get the maximum sentence suddenly makes a lot more sense. Because, in Trump's mind, this isn't just a legal case, it's personal. And judging from his tone, he's ready to make sure Diddy feels it.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs?
Well, to be fair, Diddy never exactly kept his feelings about Trump a secret. Back in 2017, he said in an interview, "I think that, to be honest, we don't really give a about Trump because black people are in the same fed-up position. So, that's not what we on. The tomfoolery that's going on in DC, that's just regular everyday business to black folks." That's not surprising. And he didn't stop there. Fast forward to 2020, during an interview with Charlemagne God Diddy doubled down, making it crystal clear where he stood. He said the #1 priority for that election wasn't just voting, it was getting Trump out of office. So yeah, if Trump took Diddy's recent silence or alleged comments as betrayal, he probably didn't have to dig too deep to remember where Diddy really stood. This was never exactly a bromance, more like a long simmering tension that finally boiled over.
Priority is to get Trump out of office. The tribe of people that have the responsibility and really should be scared to death for this.
Y'all, that aged like milk left out in July. Because not only is Trump shutting the door on any presidential pardon for Diddy, word on the street is he's gone even further. Allegedly, he's telling Judge Aaron, the one presiding over the case, to slam Diddy with the maximum sentence possible for the charges he's already been found guilty of. And for context, these charges are no small thing. Diddy was convicted on 2 counts of violating the Mon Act, a federal law that makes it illegal to transport anyone across state lines for unlawful sexual activity. Each count carries up to 10 years in prison, meaning he's now staring down a possible 20-year stretch behind bars. Here's the kicker: before Trump supposedly got involved, legal experts thought Diddy might actually skate with a lighter sentence. Being a first-time offender and already having spent a big chunk of time in lockup, many figured he'd get probation or time served. But if Trump's really pushing for the harshest punishment possible, those hopes just went up in smoke. And Diddy's legal team clearly knows the heat is on, because they've been hustling behind the scenes trying to secure a presidential pardon. Problem is, the public's not exactly rooting for him. In fact, a petition urging Trump not to forgive Diddy has already pulled in over 11,000 signatures. To make matters worse, Judge Aaron seems to be taking Trump's tough talk seriously. Just a few days ago, Diddy's lawyers filed their fifth bail request this time thinking they actually had a shot. After nearly a year behind bars, they were hoping the judge would finally let him out pending sentencing. But no Diddy night again. Even when Diddy threw down a jaw-dropping $50 million bond secured by his Miami mansion, Judge Aaron wasn't budging. In his order, he wrote that the court must be convinced the defendant won't run and won't pose a danger to others, and concluded Diddy is both a flight risk and a danger to the community. Now, all eyes are on sentencing day, because if Trump's influence is as heavy as insiders are claiming, Diddy could be counting the years instead of the days. Diddy's lawyers have made a last attempt to save him by asking the judge to either throw out the guilty verdicts or give him a new trial. They argued that he's the only person ever convicted under this law for something like this, pointing out that he had no commercial motive, everyone involved was an adult, and the men took part voluntarily. They also noted the verdict confirmed the women weren't vulnerable, exploited, or trafficked. But the judge hasn't decided yet, and people close to the case say it's very unlikely he'll throw it out, especially since the president is now publicly urging him to be tough on Diddy. Just weeks ago, Diddy and his team were confident, even cocky, thinking a presidential pardon was practically guaranteed. That confidence has now turned into desperation. Diddy has long been connected to politicians, and even Trump has admitted they were friends in the past. Their ties go way back before Bad Boy Records, before scandals, when Diddy was still Puff Daddy, and both ran in the same flashy circles, and there's even proof of their closeness. A clip where Trump says he'd always stick up for Diddy no matter what.
Never mind, he's a good guy.
He expects.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that
Oh,
question.
wow, I
don't
think
know.
he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Trump once said, "I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him," and that's when fans really started side-eyeing the situation. While Diddy's trial was still going on, President Trump was asked about his legal troubles, and instead of dodging the question, he gave a subtle hint that a pardon might actually be possible. Yup, he really said it. Listen to this clip for yourself.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, he sort of, that relationship busted up. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well.
There was still a bit of hope for Diddy back then, and rumors were everywhere that his legal team was working overtime behind the scenes, quiet meetings, big money moves, and maybe even political donations, all to lock in the pardon Trump had hinted at. A court insider claimed that the recent pardon spree was just a cover, and the real goal all along was to pardon Diddy. But the president allegedly knew that pardoning him outright would set the internet on fire. So the plan was to start with a few other big-name pardons, and be a young boy for weapons charges, reality stars Todd and Julie Chrisley for fraud and tax evasion, and even a blanket pardon for January 6th rioters to make it look normal before slipping Diddy's name in. The insider also claimed this pardon wouldn't be free. The Fed supposedly offered Diddy a deal, give them dirt on major players, and his problems would go away. Allegedly, Diddy didn't hold back, naming Oprah, Gayle, King, Ellen, and even big political figures. But according to the source, he wasn't just trying to cut time or dodge charges, he was after something bigger, a full presidential pardon. And to get it, he reportedly had some scandalous dirt on Trump himself and wasn't afraid to use it. We don't know exactly what dirt Diddy was holding or if he had proof to back it up. But word on the street was that it was serious and tied to a name that always makes Hollywood nervous, Epstein's list. Things got even wilder when earlier this month, Elon Musk shook the internet by basically outing Trump, claiming he was on that infamous list that's been missing for years. Elon didn't hold back, he tweeted, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald J. Trump is on the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump." A few hours later, he deleted it, but you know the internet never forgets. Trump, meanwhile, denied it all, calling it old news that had been talked about 4 years, insisting he hadn't been friendly with Epstein for nearly 2 decades before his death. If Diddy really tried to blackmail Trump, it looks like it blew up in his face. In fact, if he'd kept quiet, he might have had a better shot at getting that pardon. But now, with reports that the judge is under presidential orders to give him the maximum sentence, prison may be his home for a very long time. Diddy's empire is collapsing, the pardon dream is over, and the harshest punishment is locked in. What was meant to be his big play for freedom has backfired spectacularly. And instead of walking out a free man, he's staring at the reality of spending the rest of his life behind bars, a moment that could go down as the true end of his story.